Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Unity Command Black Turn episode. We are on here to Operation Taifun. Yes, indeed. We are going to be attacking Moscow, and it's going to be quite challenging now, where previously weather's not been an issue. It is now. And in this case, it's rather mucking things up a bit. And this is just part of it. So far, it's just rain, it's mud. And thankfully, it only seems to be affecting my rear lines and currently not the actual front lines, because when that happens, it's going to be really painful. So, of course, one thing also note, I'm controlling a vast force here. My opponent is also. I've got panzers, motorized, I've got cavalry, I've got SS, but mostly infantry, with a bunch of pioneers attached to them. And obviously, I'd rather have to make my base here with the first go as well. And also knowing here, thanks to this, my tanks can actually advance very far. Oh, lovely. There's certainly a few problems presenting themselves already here. One motorized division took a bit of a thrashing. Some of you might be noticing. It's hardly a promising start. Doing what I can here to sort of break through, breaching and destroying. Another minor blow there. Force moving up these gentlemen here. Otherwise, the main priority is going to be breaching through around here towards Bryansk as quickly as damnable possible. And I can't get those out of there. That's a bit unfortunate. Also figuring right here, I might want to attach some pioneer to this unit in preparation for any possible assault towards here. Also because they're one of the elite units, they're generally going to benefit more from it in any kind of assault versus fortified units, as the elite really does present them with some benefits. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're my only elite unit currently. So while they might not, as say, be as strong as a full panzer division, they're still going to be able to deliver some blows and have some advantages. Well, that rather encountered a bit of a kerfluffle. There we go. Progress being made for Deutschland. Well, ain't that's lovely. Although overall not completely perfect. One. Come now. Be nice and die. Oh well. A few elements here to try and clear out. Right here, that particular part of the sector is then affected by rain. That's great. And then we've got these gentlemen here. I might shift these up, sort of try and push towards Vizima from the south, or even then it's going to take some time to sort of have any sort of real chance of actually getting there. That went surprisingly well. So let's just take advantage of that and push towards there. And let us also quickly make a breach here. The faster I can get that going, the better as well. Speed is of the essence. Before I get trapped by the bloody weather. Oh, great. Oh, wait, there's a small gap there. Which actually allows me to out-circle that little bit there. Splendid, splendid. Might leave one panzer division to push through a bit north here. Present a minor credible threat. Which is always good. Cause a bit of havoc. One's a good old Bolshevik foe. Overall, making nice penetrations all over the place, although except in the south things could be going slightly better. Slightly. If ever so lightly. I might even be so bold. Oh wait, I've got the course Deutschland as well. Well, I might as well reinforce them as well. Blow a lot of prestige on this. Just to see if we can actually pull off a brilliant victory, even a decisive one. And overall, not so much else can be done right here, though I might want to call and see if it can't perhaps render things a bit miserable for a few units. Oh well, apparently the Luftwaffe decided to render things just miserable for me. Thanks, Hermann. That didn't have much luck either. And there we go. Let us end the turn, and let us hope the rain doesn't muck things up too much. Russians rushing in fresh units. In defense of the motherland, we shall secure all the vital choke points with our best and our brightest. Or at least the ones actually near to the spot might do something valuable. We are seeing units with T-34s attached being quickly thrown in the path of my men. Units with Katyushas as well. A bit of artillery too. Setting up defense around the forest belts in particular also works out quite nicely since units in forests are quite tricky to get out of there in the first place once they are there. Also noting up here defensive belt around here after Mushaisk, right before Moscow. Minor counterattack there. Bold. Reshiv being lightly abandoned and basically sitting upright by the river behind Reshiv. I'm sure that is of great not great concern. Well, that would be, but I was trying to be sarcastic here, you know, a bit witty. So about saying it's great comfort. There we go, comfort. And right there, we seem the Russians seem to be sort of abandoning things down there. You know, Pyotr, I think we could be up there where we might have a slightly larger chance of surviving. Yes, that is a great idea. We will say this is according to the overall plan of Stavka, and hope they don't find out. But definitely feeling a bit threatened there and sort of trying to build up fresh lines in case the first one's falling, and apparently not very confident in the first one holding at all. That's something, I suppose. Overall, though, so far the weather's been more of a bother to me than the Russians, which to a certain extent was certainly true for the war, but even then the Russians were a bit hurt by the mud and winter as well. And in fact, the winter will actually be better for me, since while in some regards it will lead to some overall problems attacking, it won't be as bad as the mud, since that really penalises me, but also my supplies, my movement, snow. Not so much, in fact, it's a lot easier to move on frozen ground than it is into mud. Also to attack better in snow and then in mud. Attrition here due to weather is not really counted into the game, so I suppose I can thank myself lucky for that. Seems like the weather has completely abandoned the field except for this large spot of mud by Roslavl. Going to clear out that one cavalry division there with some heroic infantry play. I want to deal a bit here with these chaps. Oh dear, they took a beating again now, didn't they? And some minor progress being made there. And that's hardly going to have any really positive prospects. No, I definitely need to clear out those sorts there from the woods, otherwise they're going to be a bit of a headache afterwards. And that's for sure. no matter how much I'd like it not to be the case. Cavalry there with limited luck, and going to spearhead things there a bit. Oh, you cheeky sort. You cheeky little bastard. Well, that was that infantry unit. Glory to the Fatherland and all that. Might as well try my best to clear out some of these little pockets of annoyances. And might as well shift them up as replacements. There we go, nice progress in the north. That is lovely. Still got to figure out what to do fully, but oh well, that'll come along somehow. At least got a path open here so the SS can sort of lead an assault here in the 260th Rifle Division afterwards. Which is always something. Got one unit here as a tiresome obstacle. God damn it, Luftwaffe! Do your job! Kill something! If you'd be so kind, that is. Well, that didn't go much better either. To my great and internal disappointment. Might as well shift some units down here, not really much to bother about there. There we go. But continuing to make some kind of progress. Clearing in on this Vyazma, so that should be grand, either from the south or from the west. Over here I'm getting close to actually taking Bryansk, and towards Oral will, and ultimately Tula, which seems to be the southern objective here. There's definitely some while to go. Let's just keep it at that, shall we? Let's just keep it at that. But overall progress is being made. And I've not really got anything solid to push at the opponent at the moment. So let's just end it here and see what those silly Russians will be up to next turn, yeah. Besides further reinforcement, that is. A few units here and there actually being cut off from supplies. Doubling back to sort of stop the northern or southern push towards Kursk. Doing their best to sort of stop my penetrations here and there. Good thinking there. Though that 1K1 attached unit there in the woods is definitely a pain in the arse. I really need to get it out of there. I can't really advance further up north until... because again, I very much risk having the supply lines cut. Which is not really something I'm very keen on having happen, to be honest. The cheeky sort. leading assault my motorised division with his own guards motorised rifle division with tanks attached. How dare he? Really digging in around Rajiv, it seems. An awful lot, actually. And begin to dig in around the Volga. That's certainly not going to make things easier when that time arrives. Whether once more, not looking to cause me any grief. This unit not looking too good. Overall, might have to lose its status there as a veteran unit. Much to my great sadness. Going to have to slowly clear that one out. Very slowly. And there we go. Unit cut off a bit from supplies. Oh, finally getting rid of that tiresome blighter. Huzzah. But I definitely need those out of the way. Finally the Luftwaffe does something right. Finally. There we go. Take that, you bastards. Set his vengeance for all the good German soldiers killed. Ow, that hurt. And this looks like a job for the SS. Or at least I thought it did, but apparently even with their pioneer support they're having limited success in breaching Bryansk. Scheiße. Well, in that case, take that. I shall merely cross an elsewhere place. See how you like that then. Be nice to the pioneer attached infantry units. Looks like I might bypass things up there a bit. Lovely. Most assuredly lovely. There we go. That should cause the Russians a bit of panic up there. Since all of a sudden they'll be looking at the Asma being attacked from numerous locations. I just need to clear out another unit with artillery crossing the river. God damn it! What is it with them and guarding their river crossings with artillery? That's not very sporting. Not very happy about having to do that, but ultimately it was either that or not crossing at all. There we go. Now that side of the river's mine. All mine. I'm very tempted to just turn this into replacements, to be honest. having much more luck there, I'm afraid. But overall making progress despite the Russians' best, and it is certainly not easy. Anything else that can sort of make any movements without periling anything? Apparently not. You, congratulations, you've been promoted to replacements. So hopefully Vyazma should fall, and hopefully I might be able to get those infantry divisions up there with the pioneers to breach the defences before sending in the panzers. And hopefully I can have some luck down here as well. Lovely's managed to clear out one threat. That's always something. How much of a something is, of course, always a question. So there we go. Whoops, that was a misclick. Sadly, nothing you can do about that. So let's end the turn here. Let us see what awaits next turn. More units arriving. More motorized T-34s. Tank division being sent in to deal with my Panzer division. Throwing everything they can to stop that northern move. The southern as well. Cutting off the supplies there, are we, Ivan? And certainly by this point of Operation Barbarossa, the main problems were that the Panzer Division and all the units overall were rather worn up from all the previous fighting. That and a bit also logistics. Though overall the logistics for Barbarossa in some regards were perhaps a bit loosely defined. And certainly had the problems partly due to all the sort of different trucks they had to use, but also due to the fact that the Germans were not really prepared for the Russian rail gauges. And thus overall the Russian railway system and actually transporting things there. So that also encountered a few problems. And of course the mud. I mean, the snow was also bad, of course, freezing to death and that, but overall it's a lot easier to move in frozen ground, as I previously mentioned, than it is in mud, and that rather also played a role. As the mud itself also ate up a lot of trucks. But again, we are noticing here now that a larger plan is forming. Again, it's defense around Rezhev, around Moshaisk, and then the front line sort of slowly being abandoned. Slowly but surely. And the weather report? Oh, poo. Though, thankfully, not an issue for urban fighting, thankfully. The overall Kursk will be very slowly taken, clearly. God damn it! Curse you, weather! Dear. This is turning out to be a right mess. Still no greater successes from that. Cutting off the Russian defenders there in the hopes that might somehow lead. Again, I'm not going to waste any more panzers if I can avoid it on such costly maneuvers. I would prefer to avoid those. There we go. The front lines have been breached. And there we go. The defense of Vyazma has also been breached. is just absolutely fantastic, except I can't really do much beyond that. At least not for the time being. And looks like I can't get to it. Lovely. Done my best, but ultimately that unit was a bit too well dug in. Well, that's a bit frustrating. So that rather fits the bill on a lot here at the current moment. Might as well, I suppose, try here. Get one sod killed. Anything sort of. Well, that did not work out. How unfortunate for me. Get them out of the way either. Oh well, got that unit. Need to protect the Norman bits here. Need to clear out that bit of the supply route as well. I realise. Saying that to keep the units around here actually supplied as well, and those need to get back. Oh, rubbish. Well, that's not going to be moving much further either. Oh well. That could be going a lot better, but overall I am making progress. I would definitely say this already locks out a brilliant victory, though I won't deny I did not have an awful lot of faith in that. At least not for the time being. Well, still also far as I can get them slightly buffed up. I suppose that's better than nothing. But the Russians are definitely making this a bit tricky. Going to throw everything I can there to keep that moving. What else do we have that could stand to perhaps be turned into fresh replacements for some other unit? Apparently nothing else. But it looks like Bryansk will finally fall, which should open up for a supply route towards here, and hopefully for a swift southern assault towards Moscow and Mosaisk. So let us end the turn, and let us hope the next one shall progress a bit better for me. More reinforcements. Lots of cavalry. Lots and lots of cavalry, in fact. Oh, that was a lot of cavalry. Distressingly large amounts of cavalry, in fact. Cardigan off my units there, eh? Clever girl. All quiet. Oh dear, someone got attacked. It looks like the poor bastards who lost their pioneer unit previously. Doing the best to defend the rivers. Certainly nice defensible country with all those rivers and forests. rather heavily around Tula as well. That's going to get painful too. It looks like they finally abandoned Biask after all the effort I put into it. Hardly what you'd call very nice. There we go. We'll finally make a breach somewhere in their front lines. About damn time, I would say. Going to have to shoot up some units to cover up Yasma, since I imagine there's an easier potential for a large counter assault coming in down from their ship to sort of make things uncomfortable. God damn it. There we go, the Luftwaffe for once proves to be of some use. And then another infantry division gets wiped out. Ain't that just my luck? Well, progress is being made there. Oh well. Might as well make a small charge here towards Orel, in hopes that might lead to something. Replacements as well. How lovely. I got this unit as well. Might want to do something to make those forests slightly safer. In fact, if we can set up some units in that forest, that should help guard the Asma from any sort of northern assault, which is currently one of my primary worries. But overall, things are beginning to look a bit cheerful at the moment. Ooh, I can reinforce that unit. Give that a bit of extra fighting strength. That one as well. Splendid. And this one I can easily alter for to give some more replacements, thus further increasing that unit's fighting power as well, which is just absolutely grand. There is certainly a lot of cannibalization going on amongst my units. Also, I'm actually within striking distance of Mosaisk now. But I'm sure again the Russians will do something to mess that up. There we go. Looking to cause a bit of havoc. Cutting off units, trying again to bottle things up, but I'm hopefully progressively making it a bit harder for them. And there we go, my Czechoslovakian panzers not really doing so well. And certainly if you were to inquire with one man who used some autocarriers later on a Tiger Ace, he would rather describe the armor as offering only moral protection. And in one case it was one of them and they got hit. The tank itself ended up doing more damage to them than the shot itself. With a radio operator losing an arm and he himself losing several teeth, amongst other things, I believe. But overall, he got away comparatively lightly, though. And did not lose an arm or any other limbs. But there we go, we can already see here what might look like an assault towards Vyazma, which again will also put a bit of a strain here of my forces. So of course I can't then all devote them towards a push towards Moshaisk. And of course in that regard there's still the problem, all the units dug in there in the woods. And, oh yes, rain. Actually that's going to make things so much more lovely. And that's just what we needed, rain. Slightly tempted to dig this in, but I'm going to need them to break the line at Moshaisk, so I can't really afford that. Going to pull those gentlemen, buff them out a bit. Oh great, the rain's down there as well. And of course note here, even now a veteran Panzer Division is going to have to struggle against a unit with anti-tank guns simply because of that damnable mud. And that certainly was one of the greater threats to the Panzer Divisions. Making some progress. Might as well dig them in a bit there. I could try and push towards Reshiv this way, I suppose. Damnable supplies. Let's see what happens there. Not really a lot else. Oh wait, we have got the positions down here. And Kursk finally fell. The bastards were forced to yield. Finally. And of course we get Orel, where there's more or less the same situation, except now the unit holding it is a veteran division. Oh, great. I can barely contain my excitement. And even, oh good lord! I was a bit too quick there. But even again, rain really messes things up with all the mud. And the thing with the weather pattern is it's always pretty random from fight to fight. I mean, I certainly don't recall the same weather pattern the first time I played through this one, and certainly not being so disruptive. This is admittedly a rather painful slog so far. And again, now we're seeing all of a sudden a lot more defenders around there. Yeah. Well, let's see what happens there. Slightly suppressed, but that's not even going to have a real effect on them. So that's unfortunate. Popping in there. Alright, so for elite, actually, there's a slight difference then how much it takes for an experienced veteran. Not so much elite, a lot. Good to remember. I was a bit unsure about that. Bit unsure. There we go. We're going to cut off them and hope that actually sticks. Because that way you can actually try and starve them out. So there we are. And we're going to end this turn and see how it turns out next. More reinforcements, they're just really opening the floodgates. More units pouring in all over the place, and again my units and front lines are all depleting into becoming much harder for me to also hold a coherent front and keeping up things that way, so I also need to basically divert Panzer divisions back to sort of really deliver some blows, which is also increasingly a big threat for the Germans as they got closer to Moscow. And of course the damn mud. Oh! Well, that was a fortuitous turn of events. Sure, I lost the cavalry division, but on the other hand, he just unfortified his infantry division in the town. It doesn't get any better than that. In particular, since I have no pioneers down there. So that was very fortuitous, and I just hope the rain moves away from all the vital battle spots. Otherwise, this is going to get a bit awkward. Just close. Let's go, boys. Now. Certainly I can't get the Großdeutschland up there to help a bit. Too much mud. And that Panzer division is not going to be having an awful lot of luck either. If it tries to push through there. There we go, unit destroyed. Need to get those fiends on the main road out of there. Dig you in there. In there. Here. Here. And shift you over there. And there. Hopefully all is keeping up. I'll have to leave the motorized units to deal with that one. Can I move that up? Yes. Quickly. Reach the bastards with all your might. Now of course comes the problems, I can't get them out there again. Shays it. Well, in that case I'll shift down the Panzer divisions in the weak hope that I might actually be able to sort of cause a bit of a havoc down there. In fact, cut off the supply lines there. If you can't attack head on, go round. Words of wisdom of the great Imperial Dane. So there we go, a small new secondary front established by the Asma. I need to take more shells, but again, that's not likely going to happen right away. Due to them being rather frustratingly well dug in. I might call in the Luftwaffe, but as you might have noticed, that did not quite present me with the massive successes I was hoping for. Might just want to throw that back a bit. To ensure I don't get my supply lines cut off. That's going to be a bit awkward. Chapter explains to Führer, yeah, you know, we lost the way to Moscow because, you know, I just let them quickly cut our supply lines. Yeah, not good. Yeah, I know. But overall, making some progress towards Moscow. Tula, less so. The weather really proving to be absolutely diabolical. Might as well try and extract somewhere else. Try and remove the amount of things they can actually... Ah! Chase! Misclick. Not looking good there. Well, not much to do then. Since they're obviously not going to be of much help otherwise. Same with you, gentlemen. It was nice fighting with you, but your time has come. Let's see if we can break through here next turn. Let's see what happens next turn overall. Trying to deal with the northern push a bit there. Unsurprisingly. Cutting off my Panzer division, no vast surprise either. Trying to deal with my Dagen infantry. Again, very intent on pushing towards Vyasman. The supply lines right there. Very unfriendly territory. There we go again, and good lord, he just cut off the supply lines. I might risk my pads because they're not being able to move either. Oh dear. Oh dear. That would be really bad and really frustrating, but again, that's Moscow for you. Not a trip to the bakers. Oh, thankfully nothing terrible happened. For once. Oh, even the Großdeutschland could not avoid a brutal beating there. Come now, be nice. Well, I'll have to leave it to someone else. I have to clear up the remainders of a rail, but hopefully by now it shouldn't take too much. I need to quickly move on to the next, which is overall sort of trying to move towards Tula as accurately as possible. And looks like Kaluga has opened up as well. Wonderful. Breach right there. Can't do much, might as well just take the chance there to sort of move as much through. Open up supply line that way. Wish I could move that one infantry unit. The devil away. No such luck. Moving up. Need to clear them out. As you might be noticing, this is not really becoming much better for me. Not one bit, and I really can't afford to hang around waiting anymore. So no matter the cost, I need to break through. Not much progress there. Could have been reinforce this unit, adding a bit more power. Might as well reorganize that. And, well, Smolensk is hardly in any danger anymore. So, might as well do away with that as well. Close to making some kind of full progress, though again the Moshe continues to be beyond my grasp. Frustratingly so. So let's see how this turns out down south. And the reinforcements just continue streaming in. I mean, they're receiving some tank divisions. And a lot more cavalry. I'm surprised at how much cavalry the Russians had. And they're certainly being put to good effect in slowing up my advances. And now winter's coming. Oh dear, they actually lost their cavalry element. There we go! Finally, Moshahisk has been taken. Glory to Deutschland. Glory. You get out of the way. That might open things up, but overall I have no real intention of continuing up there. The actual plan is towards here, cutting off the supplies there and there. Finally got that town. And of course I've still got the rain, which ultimately makes a mockery of logistics. No more use for you gentlemen. I'm sure you'll find much more prospective futures in CSS. No, motorized. So there we go. Slow progress, but nonetheless progress. One advantage again of the snow is, while I will still take penalties while attacking, I will be able to move faster at the very least, and the penalties won't be as big as when attacking through rain and mud. So it's not completely all bad. That's a small relief, to say the least. I suppose I could call in some Luftwaffe support in hopes of softening up the bastards. There we go. Cavalry division down, now they're not looking too good. That's how we like it. And I wish I could reinforce the Groß Deutschland, but currently he's out of supplies, and that's not quite in the cards. Still, I am within striking distance of Moscow, which is always nice. And they should just so happen to be in Moscow, in which case you might look upon it with less than glorious glee. There we go, going to try and stop that southern panzer push from arriving at Kula. Oh, there we go. Yes, yes. Move out. Out into the open, please. My panzers are most eager to have a chat with you. Away from the mud too, hopefully. Oh God, some mud. And there we go, we're just seeing Rashev turning into a minor fortress in his own right. And that's not even sort of really any sort of vital strategic target. It's just sort of, you know, well, it's in the way, so we might as well. Now that's not looking cheerful. And again, you'd hardly describe the Eastern Front as cheerful. So I suppose that might be me there's a problem with. There we go, supply lines cut. Even a tank division can now hold up against a panzer division in Serene. Dear, I'm not going to be moving a lot here. Might as well try and clear up that one unit. Limited success, but I suppose that's better than no success. And you might be noticing again here now it's weather, snow, but again, the effect is not quite as harsh as mud. Go, a bit of damage. We'll be shifting away from there. Think I can hold that up now without worry of any great cataclysmic disasters. Congratulations, you've been turned into replacements. Congratulations, you're right for them. And so are you. Hell, even you. Aren't you lucky? Another loss there to Panzer Division. I might consider striking up one and then basically putting together the other so they do have something to sort of push forwards with. Winter can't come soon enough. In this case, I would say. But there we go. Kalinin, of course, all up there, and not really within striking distance. Hardly any fun. Hardly any fun. So, let us end the turn. Let us see what happens next. Let us see what happens next in this one again. Is going to be quite the mission, and also why I wanted to be fully rested for it, because I mean it's quite a handful, quite a mouthful too. dear, actually attacking my Panzer divisions, the nerve. We're actually noticing he's actually sort of skimming out the defenders around Moscow, and here's another thing, once they've moved up, do believe they can't dig in because of the frozen ground. Which is definitely to my advantage. Whatever small advantages there is by now. Go. And I'll be shifting these gentlemen towards Kalinin. Because why the hell not? And you gentlemen, mach schnell. There we go, the Russians, all in all of a sudden suffering a bit. The supply situation, or well, the weather situation overall no longer favouring them for once. And nor is the supply situation, since I've cut them off from here and here, meaning no supplies whatsoever. Which also means next turn they won't be able to do anything. Which is definitely what I like. So there we go. Marching ahead. Crossing Russians, and currently not looking too bad. And I'm sure also looking at a lot of confused infantrymen suddenly finding themselves motorized. And for that matter, very much confused as to why all of a sudden they joined the SS. Which was actually not that uncommon as the war progressed, that a lot of men of different quality all of a sudden find themselves wondering, hang on a minute, I don't recall joining up with the SS. I thought I was part of the Luftwaffe. It's only one of a large quantity of Luftwaffe troops found out after around 1944 when they were used to reinforce, I believe, the Leibstandarte after a lot of troops were actually sent off to the Hitlerjugend to form a cadre. And there we go, actually striking round that motorized division, not a bad thing, but overall also pushes a lot of units out of cover. Wait, they actually gained supply there. Damn it. That rather ruined that plan. Swiftly. Chase. And of course we've got the bastards dug in there. Of course. Oh, looks like the 5th Panzer Division actually managed to reach elite status. That's what we call good news. Certainly gives them a nicer chance of actually getting anywhere. Oh dear no. There we go. Occasionally you can do something like that, but that rather requires you haven't actually attacked with them. And I suppose that's to avoid you sort of trying to game the system to gain favourable results. Still, progress is being made for the fatherland. Or some other kind of land. With a few other divisions looking close to lead. Also the 1st Panzer Division. Huzzah! That's good news too. Very good news. And certainly looking close to actually being able to take Moscow. Which is obviously the intended target in mind. More motorized units being reinforced. And ending the turn here. Also looking like a pretty bad supply situation over there all of a sudden. I wonder why. Maybe because they cut their supplies. Ha ha ha. Other Russians are definitely digging in wherever they can with their 45mm guns, which they're quite fond of, largely used them throughout the war, although as things progressed, they rather used them increasingly for shooting at the flanks of the tanks, obviously, which they're actually quite good at. Partly because it's a rather small anti-tank gun, which makes it easier to hide. Though they did have bigger anti-tank guns as well. Not to deny, not to deny. Ooh. One of the rare green units which actually are much likelier to retreat and overall suffers badly. It's sort of like negative veterancy, if you will. This party worker battalion. Oh, they could dig in. Well, bother. Stop resupplying that town! I forbid it! Und mein Wort is law. No, not Bernard law. Have you got that one? Numerous divisions all of a sudden becoming rather elite. One wonders what could be the cause of that. And that's going to be a bit of a headache. Looks like one might have to take a detour. Entirely keen on calling an aircraft on that as oh, there we go. Finally, about bleeding damn time. And I've got some bridge protection units over there as well, it would seem, but nothing really seriously to contend with. Apparently I've forgotten all about them. So there we go, closing in on Moscow. Definitely no chance of a brilliant victory, but there might be a decisive victory ahead. And then again, I mean, I'd hardly call getting Moscow anything but decisive or brilliant, considering the obstacles thrown into my way. Though obviously that might be my ego talking. So feel free to disregard that. Feel free to disregard... Ooh. More to reinforce. And keep going. Looks like I can also easen up the defences around there. Unless the developer snuck in some airborne units, I think I'm safe. But making my way slowly towards Kalinin with my motorized units. Ja, that is good. Going to add up a bit there. And let us end the turn. Let us see what the Russians do. Let's hope I didn't do anything recklessly stupid. Let us hope I didn't do anything really stupid, actually. That's one of my primary concerns, that I do it without realizing it. But there we go, digging in around Moscow, heroically so, I suppose. Then again, one Guards Drive Division with K1 tanks dug in. That's definitely going to require the SS getting in there first. If we want even a chance of breaking through first place, I need them breached. Oh, looks like the Czechoslovakian units, or the Czechoslovakian panzer-equipped units, have been given elite status. So it looks like I'm going to have to clear out one little bastardy bastard basting around. I'll try and use that to actually reinforce some of my more elite units. Going to use some of these units to clear up flanks, hold them. Those here as blocking units, and going to ever slightly push towards that. So that's just marvellous. Hey. I might actually want to get up there, you know, just in case. So I can actually push towards Moscow directly. The next turn. And leave Tula guarded. Also just in case. Not really a lot to talk about. I mean, things are finally beginning to go a lot more assuredly my way, at the very least. And most of my panzer divisions are back at elite status. Even some of my motorized are beginning to get there, I suppose. And suddenly Soviet resistance seems to be slowly melting away. which is good. Yeah, no, not really good odds there for a Luftwaffe attack. Not really good odds at all. Not there either. Let's just pour some more beatings in there in the hopes that will make them realise the folly of their ways of resisting some might of the Imperial Dane. God damn it. Ah, there we go, cutting off my motorised units. I should have expected that. Well, if all goes well, I should still be able to push through there with my motorised units in the north, and hopefully also clear out some of the other bits. Just in time for breakfast. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. There we go, they're much shorter turns now as well, which does help a bit. Since previously it took a bit of time there in the start. I'm actually slightly wondering how long this mission actually end up taking by now. Oh, there we go, breached. Splendorifously. There you go, breached as well. And again, as you might note, even an elite S, oh no, not an elite SS Panzer, but even an elite Panzer is going to have a bit of trouble with that one. And then let's clear out these remaining nuisances. Who dare to remain in my way? There we go, open up a supply line there that way. I shall not be denied. Well, technically I could be, but I'd rather prefer not. And of course, rather begs the question what to do with my remaining air support. I could try and break through there, but that's likely not going to result in any happy memories. Might as well just try and make a mess of things there. And otherwise shift as many of my elite panzer divisions and such ready to take Moscow by the next turn. And hopefully I'll be able to take Kalinin in the next again. A few losses here and there, nothing to worry about, though I imagine the overall casualty list, if there were to be compiled one, according to the sort of things I've suffered, might be a bit high. But then again, I suppose if you got Moscow, you've got less worries there. But as you might be noticing, there's considerably less that Russians end up doing by now. There we go. Taking into the name of Groß Deutschland. Looks like that was the KB1s that vanished right there. Yes, finally! A victory! Phew, that one took quite a while. As some of you might have noticed, a rather brutal fight, a lot of things thrown into it, and also one where the weather sort of all of a sudden kicks in. I mean, in that regard, you know, this campaign in some regards, you know, rather lulls you into a safe sense of security, and then all of a sudden, bam, rain, bam, winter. Have fun, German player. So ultimately a rather brutal fight, but ultimately I prevailed through judicious use of turning a lot of my units into replacements for my SS units and other units as well. And of course, you also saw that the Luftwaffe can't really always be counted on to actually get you the results you might want. But overall, brutal battle, and again, you try getting a decisive, brilliant victory on this one. I'll certainly be impressed, I'm sure others will be. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned something from it. I hope you got some ideas. If you think you might want to get this game, get it on unityofcommand.net or on Steam. And this is the Black Turn DLC. There's also the Red Turn, which actually gives you a Soviet campaign. So this is Imperial Dane saying cheers, finally.